Thanks for supporting the When the Smoke Clears podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to catch us every time we upload. So yeah, guys, I've been watching is it Yasuke? We talked about it briefly in one of the other podcasts, but it just came out, so I watched it. I don't know if any of you lot watched it.
Yeah, I've seen it. What did you think?
I watched it.
You know what? I really liked it. The fact that it came from, I did some a little bit of reading. Mappa, you know, who do Attack on Titan, that studio, they were involved in it.
Right.
So I knew it was going to be really kind of beautiful and, very artistic because of who, I think the soundtrack is done by, what's his name?
Flying Lotus and
Thundercat.
Thundercat, not Supercat.
Supercat.
Thundercat, yeah.
I swear, Joe, you're going to basically take the reputation as the old West Indian on this flipping podcast. Supercat. But Thundercat, yeah. So I knew it was that. I was scared though. I was worried it was going to be a kind of primal kind of animation where art was going to overtake the story.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield is he plays the role of Yasuke, the one from Atlanta. Sorry to bother you. Get Out.
Okay. Good stuff. I liked it. The voice actors. I would say with the voice acting, if I'm really honest, it wasn't as. You watch a lot of other animation, the voice actors are really convincing. They don't sound like they're in the studio reading from a script. They get into it, they run around the studio. I got the feeling that all of them, it was all a bit just reading it. It wasn't as
back in it. It's proper laid back.
About some voice acting, sometimes I feel like some actors are good on screen and some actors are made for voice acting. Yeah. Because what's the guy? He's always in cartoons. He plays Spawn. He's also in what's that show? Josh, you like it? Final Space. Yeah. He's also in
yes.
As one of the Titans.
Bolo.
Yeah. He's it's like a famous actor, black actor.
David.
Yeah. He's in I think he was in Something About Mary. He was the dad of Cameron Diaz when she had the black dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in cartoons. He's very famous for his voice acting. So he was the voice of Spawn and he was the voice of that Bolo in Thing. People like that, I feel like they get what to do with voice. The same with James Avery, who was Shredder. He played Shredder, didn't he? Uncle Phil. And I feel like these actors, they are, and Mark Hamill, I feel like
Mark Hamill's good.
They actually they're suited for voice acting, just the way that they're more famous for their voice acting than, well, not on the case of Uncle Phil, but the others are just as famous or they do more with their voice acting than they do with their live action roles. Because apart from Skywalker, Mark Hamill hasn't been in anything else, really. You know what I mean? And
but then Joker's a mad thing.
In a couple of those movies from the 90s, the African American black movies from the 90s. But he's mostly been a voice actor. So I feel like it's not I feel like maybe some actors might just think, oh yeah, it's easy, I'll try it. Or the directors be like, yeah, just get them to do it. And then it's it's not instantly, it doesn't fit like a glove, should we say. It wasn't bad. It's just a observation.
It was. I mean, that's one thing I know. It just felt like they were, as I said, it reminded me of Saturday morning cartoons when you're watching DC cartoons or Marvel cartoons, and it's that level of voice acting. I just expected a bit more, especially because Mappa was involved, especially because it was a big thing, big names, and also they're trying to go with that anime. They're trying to push through in the anime arena where the voice acting is good. So that was the only thing. But
I mean, he's famous, Lakeith Stanfield, but I don't think he's the most expressive actor. And he kind of mumbles. He kind of mumbles. It's not really who thought that it was a good idea?
I don't know.
It's a bit of a weird. It's a bit of a weird appointment. Like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of a weird appointment to get him in the role. Like, it only can be because he's probably maybe he was like the most famous actor that put his name forward. Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing. Looking at that Yasuke, like the cast, it's not. It doesn't look like a high. You know, like the rest of them, like Invincible. That's a high end cast kind of thing. Like it's not like that. And like it just looks like it's got.
So maybe they just used him to sell it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
to get syndication.
If you look at the Lion King, the new one, he had like Donald Glover and Beyonce, and they didn't really do that well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it was not good at all.
You could tell they sounded like they were reading. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's it. It's like but again, they used those names because at the time, Childish Gambino was like he was like big. Like, he was having like a moment. Beyonce's Beyonce. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, we can use these guys to like sell the movie. You know what I mean? And make money. But I don't know that. Yeah. But anyway, that's a small gripe. But it was still good. It was still good watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way it was like that first. It was like a boss battle kind of thing. You know, when he's going through his fight, it's like he's going against boss battles. It's like a game, like a game thing.
Yeah.
He's going through.
Like, I liked it. Like one by one, like you know what I mean? He's going through them one by one. Yeah,
exactly.
And I like the mix of genres. Like, you know, you first watch it, you think it's going to be one of those like feudal style, like, you know, set in that period with the shoguns and all of that. And then all of a sudden you've got like robots and superpowers. So I love that mix.
In that way, it was kind of Afro. It did remind me of Afro Samurai.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, when I'm watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's like the Lucy Liu and all that. But I was speaking to my friend, and he was telling me about how it's a true story. Like, it's based on a true
Definitely.
He was like the black thing.
He came with Portuguese missionaries.
Yeah.
That's a madness.
No, I did think it was a little bit short though.
Yeah.
It was wrapped up a bit too. It was that wrapped up rubbish again.
It gave me too much Netflix vibes in that way. Like, it was kind of like it was just done. Like, it didn't finish badly. It didn't finish badly. I just felt like they could have just explored it a bit more and like, because also, like, you know, there was like stuff. For instance, the mum.
That's it.
She went missing, but is she dead? Is she alive? She never saw her die. They could have, like, I feel they could have just explored a few more things a bit more.
Yeah, how did she even, you know, acquire the young girl?
Exactly.
Like, it was just
like, who was she? Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I feel like, I mean, it did say a bit about who she was, but I just felt that they could have explored that whole storyline a bit more.
Yeah.
And I do.
Power,
and
the
like,
girl's
powers.
Exactly.
With some of the bosses, I felt like some of the like people he fought, I feel like for like the powers they had, they shouldn't have been so easy to just kill them off. Like, every time it was just like,
it's always like that though.
How's he gonna manage? And then it was just like, oh, they're dead now.
Man was doing all them, you know, the ones when you slice somebody, you don't look, they're just behind you, chopped up. He's doing all of them. All them samurai moves. But
I'm saying you.
It was interesting. It was. I can say that I was able to watch it. You know, just keep watching. It wasn't like, oh god, this is boring.
It wasn't hard to watch. It wasn't hard to watch.
It wasn't Invincible levels though. It weren't like, you know how Invincible's like you couldn't wait for the next episode. This one, it was a pleasant watch, but it didn't grip me like Invincible gripped me.
Yeah. No, not at all. I would say like it's probably not even better than, and this might be controversial, I don't think it was better than Afro Samurai either.
It wasn't. No. And I don't even, and you know I don't even like Afro Samurai.
No,
Afro Jack I don't like.
Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack I don't like. But Afro Samurai is alright. But
I thought Afro Samurai was like, do you know why? Like, because I feel like Yasuke, it was good, but it still had like Netflix vibes. Whereas I feel like Afro Samurai felt like more money was spent on it, and it was like a proper like like a proper piece of art. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like a collectible. Like, do you know what I mean? It's still, even now, if I will go back and watch it, it's still like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes with Netflix, and I think we've touched on this before. I feel like sometimes with Netflix, you get like a good idea, but it's like fast food. It's like fast food TV. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like you got a good idea, but because they just need to put such stuff out, it's just like stuff just comes out, and it's like, okay, well, this is a good idea. You could have developed it more, but it all looks good in the trailer. But like the final product is kind of like half baked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With some stuff. You know, like all their movies, like the Jamie Foxx one, and all that, like the Jamie Foxx one with the superheroes, and some of them it's just like you know what I mean? It's like,
and the what's his name one as well.
Yeah.
You know, Snowfall guy and Falcon.
Yeah,
that one.
And Anthony Mackie, like with the training day robot training day, like
yeah.
That's what it was. It was training day, but in the future with robots, like
yeah,
man.
Do you think that this is what's happening, where it's going? Because if you think about it, some of the stuff we've been watching lately, that's our main complaint. Like, it just seems to be all wrapped up. I would have preferred if they'd actually left it a bit open in the hope of getting another series or of extending it.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, it seems like they've wrapped it up to say it's just a mini series. We're not coming back no more, and that's it. And I think in that way, if they, like you said, if they'd have left it open, at least all them questions that we had, we could be like, well, there'll be another season. At the moment, it looks like it's just like this standalone thing. And in that way, then if I look at it from that lens, it's a little bit unsatisfactory. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, if you wrapped it up so easily like that to say that's the end, then what about this and what about that? Whereas those questions, if they're not answered and there's a second season or the possibility of one, then you could be like, well, yeah, they'll bring back the mom or find out what happened to the mom or this or that will happen. And
I think that's the assignment, though. That's the assignment for these guys now, isn't it? It's like you make this first series and you have no guarantee you're getting that second series. So you have to try and wrap it up in a bow at the end as much as possible. Man, they only got 6 episodes, half-an-hour episodes. So like,
I would have still left it open to kind of force the hand of, in terms of my art, because they can't do nothing, and then that would force them to try and open it up because and also it was quite a intense subject matter, and this girl has come from somewhere, she's gone through this trauma, she managed to defeat some guy that's got exactly the same powers as her. That was weird. This guy who's British,
all of that
it don't make no sense. It was, the fights were too clean and easily won. Like that girl's fight, she didn't even have control over her powers. She went and stayed with that guy for like 2 days and did some Mr. Miyagi rubbish, and then traveled on an astral plane and then she's got all these powers now. They managed to also get to that guy without really much struggle, because I was expecting, when they were trying to travel to this guy that was a teacher, that they would encounter quite a few obstacles, and it wasn't really. There was like 1 or 2, and that's it. They managed to get there nice and clean.
Episodes.
Boy, it's coming like the Marvel ones again. Like it's very well put, quickly put together. As much as I was cussing Primal, at least with Primal, there was like longevity even to the end. It wasn't wrapped up like so neatly. It wrapped up, but it wasn't like this where it was all the loose ends were just like tied up nice and tight, and everybody was happy and lived back in the village, and it was all happiness and laughter all over again. Like ending of Smurfs or something.
Doing it like a half season, because usually they do it like something like this would do all of this story in the first season, and if they get the second season, they track backwards and start explaining why this is that and that's happened and where this comes from. That's what they do. But lazy kind of, but
it was a good I guess it was a good project because we had like Thundercat and Flying Lotus, that hyped up the soundtrack. The soundtrack was beautiful.
The music made it
that
music gave it like a base to start from for me. It was like, it made me get excited to watch it, just hearing the theme tune when it came in and stuff. So
it was nice. That was a nice theme tune. And it was like, like you introduced me to Flying Lotus, Joshua, and I just love his music now. Like it's that kind of like relaxing music, and he really he understands like layering and all of that. So I was excited that he was going to do the soundtrack, and I like Thundercat as well. Was he singing? Was Thundercat the one that was singing?
I believe so.
Yeah, I know he's a bass player, but I didn't know if he was actually singing it as well. It was just nice.
Maybe not.
And it was, the drawings actually reminded me of Invincible. Like the way they drew the black girl in Invincible was almost like the way they drew the samurai. It was the same kind of, same palette, same drawing.
You know what? A lot of these animations, they have really similar, like, I don't know how you tell the difference between, like, because I could be watching a Justice League thing and then be watching, say, Invincible, and they look the same, but it could be different artists. But why do they draw the same? You know what I mean? Like, is that
just how they draw? Style influence.
Yeah.
You know, and also I think they realize what breeds familiarity. It's the same in acting. You know, they'll get an actor that's a similar looking actor or budget looking actor to a main actor that you know, you know, to kind of sell. You know what I mean? To sell the film. And it's the same with the animation. Like once you're kind of comfortable, you sort of like think, oh yeah, I know what to expect, kind of thing. But yeah, it was good. It was, you know, I said based on a real story, like you said, Josh. So it hit all the right kind of markers. It was a nice watch for me anyway. You know, if they did another season, I'd watch it. I don't know if I'd put it on. I wouldn't say it's any kind of awards, or I don't know if it's that far, like, you know, acclaimed and all of that stuff. Maybe the soundtrack will get an award.
Yeah, that's about to say soundtrack. That's it.
Yeah, the soundtracks for sure.
But the storyline, it's all right, and you know the kind of like characters, but the voice acting was, it was all right. I would have liked to have heard more effort in the voice acting.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's it. That's what I mean. Like, just needed some effort, man. A bit more enthusiasim.
Someone should bust in the studio. I want to hear some enthusiasm.
It just sounded lean up, right?
They did. They sounded like how we are. Like they were just like, oh no, maybe you're the one. Like, I'm going to fight you now.
That's literally how it was.
It was the only one that gave me like proper, you know, like kind of like, you know, enthusiasm was the priest, the baddie, the white guy that was the priest.
Yeah.
He gave me some. You could feel it, like he was getting into it.
Yeah. He knew the assignment. He was anime villain. Like he knew what he was.
He knew his assignment. Yeah.
And that's the point. I bet that guy is not no big time actor in
some seasoned actor.
What he's good at. He's probably good in theatre, and he's probably good at voice acting, because you have to be a little bit more hammy, innit? Like we were talking about this before, you know, the voices, like cartoon voices, like it needs to be a balance. I don't think it should be too hammy, but like for a character like that, it's good to have someone who's a bit more expressive. Like when you had like Lakeith just kind of like, oh, we need to go and see the guy.
It's trying to be so cool. Like
it was awful, and like no emotion to like anything. Like I know he's supposed to be like, you know, traumatized and quite stalwart and everything. But it didn't come over. Like you said, Joel, you hit the nail on the head. That the older guy, he knew, he probably walked in there. He's like, right, what do I do? Oh, brilliant, right. Probably does audio books for a living. Like,
you know what? There was a scene, I can't remember what episode it was, but it was like the girl and him talking. And I think I didn't get through that scene like 3 times because it was just them two talking conversation, innit? Yeah.
But and the Yasuke and the girl.
Yeah, and it was just like, and she was like, and I just kept falling asleep. In the end, I just turned it off and said, let me come back to this another day quickly, man. But yeah, I think other than that, I like the character. I like the characters. I like the voodoo guy. I like that.
The tall woman who turns into like a friggin' werewolf.
The bear lady. Werewolf lady. Yeah.
She gave me I don't know why, but when I was watching the bear lady, all I could think about was what's his name? Cleveland, the Cleveland show, like that bear friend, like
the bear.
Hey guys.
I don't know why, but I just got that vibe.
Accent as well. That's why.
Yeah.
Accent.
Yeah, it was like a Germany kind of like Austrian accent or something.
She was like, I don't know, what was she? She had like a Russian or something like that accent. And he was like Russian. He's like, yeah, that's probably why. Like,
that's all I kept laughing every time I saw her. Then she changed. That's all I saw. I was trying to take her seriously, but that's all I saw. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, we didn't know nothing about the girl's power. Like, where is it from? Like, she just random, innit?
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, the old man wanted it, but he didn't know who he was working with, so he was deaded, and then that was it. Like, okay, so no one else is coming for this girl. Like, if it's so important, why are there not like 10 factions? For her. Say it again, Josh.
When the main villain coming for her.
Yeah, the priest guy. When he coming for her?
No, the other one.
You see, it wasn't that memorable.
The queen thing, yeah, because she didn't do nothing. Like, she was just there, just chilling in it. Like,
yeah, and then telling people, like, injecting people in their heads, and then that's it.
Oh yeah, she powered up that woman, innit?
Yeah, and then turned it all like crazy looking. But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Glad I watched it. Part of pop culture. Yeah. You know, it was one of those ones where it came out and you had to watch it. So yeah, but
listen, it didn't suck. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
it didn't suck. It was a decent watch, but yeah, it like could have been better. Solid effort.
B+.
B+.
Okay, so have you guys watched Close Enough on Netflix?
Is this the one with the drawings that look like regular show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
watched a couple episodes. Yeah.
Well, I can say that I particularly liked it. I like the regular show. I like Bob's Burgers. I like those kind of. They remind me of those kind of King of the Hill kind of cartoons, which is just like family life, and then you know, a little bit of, you know, comedy thrown in, like a sitcom but in a cartoon form. So yeah, it was an easy watch for me. I quite liked it.
I mean, I'm not an authority on this one because I haven't seen loads of it. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I started watching it when it first dropped, and then I was late. I kind of I turned it off, or I fell asleep. Yeah, but what I saw of the first episode, I'd say I only watched one episode, and I think it was because it wasn't what I was expecting that it took me a little while to get into it. I've gone back now since, and I'm getting into it now. But like, I feel I don't like the drawings. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
regular show drawings.
No, I'm not a fan of them drawings.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of there was a board game that used to be, and it used to be like, I think those drawings used to be like that. That's what those drawings remind me of.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I'm not a massive fan. It's a bit like Ed and Eddie type vibes.
See, I hated Ed and Eddie. I hate that. I hate that shaky drawings, like rhubarb and custard, shaky drawings.
Like, and it's all like out of proportion. It's on purpose. It's like, I don't know.
And the squiggly lines on to represent wrinkles. They make their like they used to do with Grandpa Simpson. They do that, just a squiggly line on their arms to make them look like older. I know you mean the style,
but I do like, now that I've got into it, I'm like, I do like the fact that there's always some sort of like, I don't know,
reference,
like unrealistic thing that happens in the, like, at first that kind of put me off because I wasn't sure what the show was supposed to be. But then, like, obviously in every episode there's like some unrealistic shit that happens, like them kids with the sweatshop turned into some like old like freaking Oompa Loompas, and then like, you know what I'm saying, and then you had the you know, the club where everyone was old and they were killing them off, like, and all of that. Like, so at first I was like, what? Why that wouldn't happen? But then when I started like getting into it, I was like, okay, that's part of the charm of the show. Like, at first I was not, because I weren't sure what to expect. I was kind of like, well, this is stupid. But now I'm into it. I like it. I think it will be something I'll end up getting hooked on eventually.
Well, it's the same as. Go on, Josh.
I think it's like what the regular show wanted to put in, but they couldn't in it because it was Cartoon Network.
So it's like an adult version.
No, but regular show do it. Like every regular show, is a reference to a film, and this is the same. So this one was like the sweatshoppy one. The Oompa Loompas obviously is Charlie and Chocolate Factory, and then the other one is it Logan's Run, where you reach a certain age and you have to die. So they refer to like old films. But I know that the regular show guy, he was his roommate in college was a British guy, and his British friend used to just love watching things like Peep Show and all of those British comedies that came out. So he got hooked on them. So that's why I think I can relate to the humor a bit more. It's a bit more British in terms of the way that they do. It's a lot of sarcasm. a lot of like references to old films and the way that they do things. So it's probably the same formula. And like you say, Josh, it's an older version of what Regular Show does. But Regular Show is good, man. Love that
Regular Show is good as well. But I like, I like
Regular
as well.
Show's good. I never really like watched loads of it, but like, what I did see, it was always pretty funny.
Yeah, Regular Show and Adventure Time, them two, that's the Cartoon Network ones I can watch. But this Close Enough, I like as well.
Thingy as well. What's the other one with the cat and the fish?
Oh, you like Gumball, Amazing World of Gumball.
Gumball, I thought that was funny as well.
Yeah, Gumball's good.
I don't see Gumball drawings. That's why I don't like Gumball drawings.
Really? No, I like Gumball.
Yeah,
I like the drawings. I like the mix of like the computer graphics.
I don't like the real. They only come out the real person looking like that orange, the talking orange thing.
Yeah.
And
then, I don't like when I don't like that.
And the robot and all of that. It's like CGI mixed with the cartoon stuff.
Yeah, like a collage.
Yeah.
Something about it just don't click. I don't know what it is. Too much difference. But I was gonna say with Close Enough, I like the way it's like it's real life. Like, like they'll go to like they'll put a situation in and they'll be like the daughter says something about the mom at school and she shouldn't have said it, and it's like it'll be like a real life situation, I'm saying, but obviously a bit over exaggerated. So it's things that happen in day to day. So when I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, that will happen. Like, I can see that happening, or that's happened, or I know people that's happened too, or you can see the situation, and then they just throw it left. Like there's an episode where they go to like a viewing. She goes to a viewing, and she's basically pretending to be a different family with these other two people.
And then she gets trapped in the house.
Yeah, the family.
That's what I mean. Good. That's like that at first.
Highlights of business.
At first, that kind of thing was the thing that put me off, because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't sure what the show was supposed to be. But obviously, there's a scenario like that in every episode so far that I've watched. I don't know. I'm up to that one actually. That's the last one I watched. Yeah, and
that was a good one.
There's a scenario like that in every episode, but it's like now I'm waiting for that scenario where everything goes left, like, and it's just, like, everything's a little bit either supernatural or like horror or something. Like it's got some kind of element like that where you're like, oh, what's gonna be like the twist in this episode? So now I'm kind of understanding the format, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm into it now. Whereas in the beginning, I was kind of like, what's going on? Like, yeah.
You know what else? It really holds interest. Yeah, it holds your interest because they're only 15-minute episodes that you're watching.
Yeah.
Halves, isn't it? So it holds you. You're watching the thing. You're just like, oh, okay. It doesn't even feel like 15 minutes, and then it finishes, and you're like, oh, okay. The next one starts. You're like, And
the dialogue is good, and like we talked about voice actors with Yasuke, like the voice acting's good. It's like natural, conversational, and it's funny. Like, these kind of ones, they do make you chuckle. Okay, you might not have like belly laughs, but they do make you laugh and things like that, and the characters, because it's like a young couple in it that are trying to upscale and get out where they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then just
the
throws in
couple
some
as well that they live with.
Yeah, exactly that way.
Oh, and fun fact, it's the same voice. Rexplode is the guy with the beard.
Yeah, Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah,
and he's the guy in Big Mouth as well.
Oh, so it's the same ones.
Oh,
the guy.
The friend,
that guy. Yeah.
The friend with the pillow.
Yeah.
I can't take Big Mouth. I can't do it.
What?
It's jokes. It's jokes, but it's so like.
Yeah, it's crude.
You know what it is?
It's crude.
It's so crude, and I can do crude, but it's too crude for me. It's like
I saw an article. They were trying to like cancel it.
Really?
You know what?
Yeah, but
like the guy's life, Nick Crow's based on his life, so he's like, it's like a caricature of what happened in his life. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
see, my humor, I can't do that. Like, it's like that one and the one Brickleberry. Like, I can't. It's just.
No, I didn't really like Brickleberry. Like,
the jokes are a bit.
All right, but Brickleberry tries hard. It tries hard.
Yeah, it got very stale very quickly. What's the other one that's like Brickleberry, but they're just police?
Yeah,
Paradise.
Yeah,
I couldn't even start watching that.
Rubbish.
I feel, like you said, Josh, I feel like it just tries hard. You know when it's like trying so hard to be shocking, and there was like a period in time where Netflix kept doing that. They kept bringing out these random cartoons that was like trying hard.
Big Mouth. Yeah, they saw Big Mouth and they were like, we can do.
So like, what's that? There was the other one with the basketball. Which is
that was so rubbish.
That was terrible.
Awful.
Terrible.
I don't mind. F is for Family that much. I feel that's all right.
Good.
It's a bit King of the Hill.
Yeah,
it's like King of the Hill vibes, like, you know, Middle America, like, you know, family.
And
like,
that's serious as well. It's a serious story. Like it's not.
It's a serious story. Like it's comedy, but it's not like it ain't. You won't see any weird stuff like happening like in like Close Enough. Like you won't see anything like that. It's literally it's just a sitcom. It's literally a sitcom, but it's just animated. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like it could be any sitcom, but it's just animated. And like, yeah, it's pretty much King of the Hill in everything. Even like the drawings are similar. Like, you know,
yeah, it looks like they based it on him.
It's what's his name as well, Bill Burr. So
okay,
it's that kind of humor in it, like you know, some, you know, that kind of Boston, like, you know, Boston
bar stand-up humor.
Yeah. It's all of that kind of thing, but it's you know, it's a little bit racist as well. Like, so I could imagine like most of Middle America would watch it. It's like, you know, they got the black guy and then they got the Asian guy and it's all like stereotypical like roles and like it's all of that. Because it's set in the 70s as well. But it's funny because it tries to be a little bit woke, but then it's that King of the Hill humor in it. So it's like it's two juxtaposing types of humor mixed in with each other.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right. It's like that's another one that I thought that wasn't too bad. But yeah, in general, my point was, Netflix did have at that point, like, you know, like now at the moment it's all everything's superhero. Like at one point it was all, oh yeah, what's the next adult cartoon we can bring out? That's really shocking.
Shock people.
Like,
yeah, that's the thing. When it's shocked for no reason, like you say, like Big Mouth. Yeah, I can't do Big Mouth just because I'm just too squeamish for it. But at least there's intelligence behind the script writing. Yeah. But the others, like I said, like Brickleberry, it was literally just like, you might as well just be saying fart and bogey like every. Do you know what I mean? It's just to shock people. Like, it just weren't funny. Now it's just nasty.
The second season of Paradise PD. Like it just goes like that thing it's left already, but it goes even more. It just swerves off the road. Like it's mad the way that I was watching. I was like, raw. Like, you know, you don't even want to watch it. I don't even think I finished the season, but that was bad. But I think with Big Mouth, something about them being aware, like the self-awareness. I don't know, like something about the way the monsters in it. Like it's like you understand this program is not for kids. Like it's not a kid show. It's not nowhere near a kids show, in it. So people letting their kids watch it, that's your business.
Yeah, but that's them silly parents who like they don't watch, watch before you do it. Like I think I was saying to you, Josh, like, I was reading some mangas that I'm really into. I would never recommend manga to my son. I would not, because the manga of the anime, right? The manga is just too explicit sometimes. Like they'll put all the relationship bit in, all the sex scenes in, like blow by blow close-ups, because it's drawings in it, so they can get away with a bit more. The same with cartoons; they get away with more because it's in a drawing. And as a parent, you've got to like look at that first. You can't be letting your kid willy-nilly like, yeah, read this one, it's great. He's looking at some tentacle porn and you don't even know.
Hentai.
Somehow hentai. Yeah, exactly. Like you just don't know, but that's your responsibility. And also like these cartoons that have come out, as parents, just watch it first, man. Like you can't just then run around watching it, and then some of that stuff's a bit disturbing, man. Like makes you like shudder. You're like, oh no.
It's worse than South Park, probably. Some of it.
Yes. Because South Park, and even South Park had some scenes that used to make me a bit like, oh, that's a bit off. Like with what's his name, Butters getting kidnapped. Huh?
Yeah. No, the transgender, when Mr. Garrison got his operation. And
then he went back though, didn't he?
Yeah, he went back afterwards. That episode was like raw.
What about the film? The South Park movie with the devil and Saddam Hussein, and it was all a bit like, oh my god, like all right, like too much detail. Or the mayor, woman.
Episode they showed thing as well.
Go on.
The episode where they showed Muhammad.
See what I mean? All of that kind of stuff, just like, just to be stupid. It's like people that let their kids watch food. Was it Food Fight? Or not Food Fight. What was the one? Sausage Fest.
Oh yeah,
Fest.
Not Sausage Fest.
That film.
Yeah,
that film with sausages. Wasn't that by the South Park people?
Sausage Party or something.
That's it, Sausage Party.
Yeah, Sausage Party. Wasn't it?
Sausage Fest.
Sausage Fest.
You know, parents didn't bother to actually check that. And when you watch it, it's mad explicit. Like, I don't know if you've watched it, but...
No, I have, yeah. Bro, I saw it in the cinema, like...
Boy, that end scene was a bit much.
What happens in it?
A lot of sex and, like, innuendo, but, like, explicit.
Very explicit and very... You know, just because they're using fruits and vegetables... Like, one of the characters was a vaginal douche. So, one of the characters, so you can imagine. So, yeah, it was a bit much... I find actually, which is quite interesting, like a lot of the kind of, putting aside the one that we've just been talking about, but like a lot of those kind of adult cartoons, it's like, it reminds me of like pent up schoolboys that when they get to an age and they get like a little book and they sit and write things like bum, women, boobs, like, you know, they get excited. It's like, it's very immature for like grown men. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like, but it's not done in a, like you said, with Big Mouth, I think there's a bit more thought behind it. I think when you watch things like BoJack Horseman, it's relationships. But these ones, it's just like a smorgasbord of childish bum and fanny jokes.
It's just toilet humor.
Yeah.
You know, he does that as well. It's the Family Guy. That
Seth.
like come back, after he come back, like all his stuff was just the same. Brian and Stewie, basically, that's what everything is. Like Ted, like, it's just Peter Griffin, and it's just Ted jokes, like jokes that are just like corny, like.
But these guys get
his whole thing is kind of fell off now, isn't it? Like,
definitely.
Family Guy is dry. Like, no one watches that no more. Even American Dad. I mean, I hang on to American Dad a bit longer, but even that now, I'll watch it, but I'll have to be I'd have to be in a situation where there's nothing to watch and I'm so bored. It's like literally
anime
lockdown. Huh? Yeah. It'll be like
anime film.
Like, there's nothing to watch. Maybe I'll give. I haven't seen American Dad in about 5 years. Let me watch an episode. Do you know what I mean? And then then I'll just go to sleep. You know what I mean?
It's true.
They're falling off.
I did try and support the Cleveland show when it came out.
That's poor. I think that's when it went too far. Like, I feel like Cleveland show was just not good. And
do you know why?
Go on.
I think because when you look at black, like black humor, like a white person doing black humor, it's only surface level, and they think they know everything, but it's and then you let them run with it and go, okay, then we'll let you go for it, do it. And then you realize very quickly how little they have in terms of black humor, like in terms of knowledge.
That's the thing. It's like the thing with the Cleveland show. It was like, who's that for? Like, it's like, I'm not gonna like, for like a black audience is gonna watch that and be like, well, this is puppy show. Like, it's not really gonna. It doesn't relate to anything. And then a white audience will maybe watch it for like one, like in passing, but again, they're not gonna watch it like they'll watch Family Guy because they won't find it relatable. Like, do you know what I mean? So. No one's relating to this thing. He just got too carried away with his own success. I thought, I'll do black people next.
You know what it was? It's because people were laughing at the, you know, like Family Guy.
That's like isolated.
Yeah, but
that's isolated.
That's all you're gonna get.
And even them jokes, they were just dry. Like, they don't mean them jokes were like. For like little white kids in suburbs, like, do you know what I mean? And like it wasn't for anything really.
There's no
it wasn't relatable. No, so like in the end, I think he victim of his own success. Also, once he did Ted blew up. I feel like he probably lost his motivation to do animation after that. Or he probably lost the kind of, I don't know, the creativity or whatever. Because after Ted, I feel like Ted, it was really popular.
Wild West thing, innit?
What Wild West thing?
Ways to Die in the Wild West, something like that.
Oh yeah. And there's also the other thing where he had the the
ship.
No. He had a thing where it was it was like fairy tales or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah, cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon cavalcade of something, and it was like all these fairy tales. What if, like, and it was like to do with like all traditional fairy tales, and he remixed it in his way.
like
But it was
Rodell
like
did. Like
they were like, but it was like cartoon shorts. I would like find it. If you find it, you find it on stream it on wherever. Like you won't find it on Netflix, but you can find it. And that weren't too bad actually. It was relatively funny.
Okay.
But I do feel like after Ted, like not it's the same thing with like after the Simpsons movie. Not like you've had your fill in it. No one who's gonna just go back and just keep watching the series.
Yeah,
because they've had all that big gas about the movie. It's the end, like it's, you know what I mean? It's just like
these
they
things carry
do
on
it to the wheels drop off.
But these things carry on for it's not us. It's when they hear their parents talking about Simpsons and then they go watch it and they're watching Simpsons now. But it's not the same Simpsons that we was watching.
No one who's watching Simpsons now.
You know, kids would hear their
they
parents
do watch the old
Simpsons
ones,
and they go watch the Simpsons.
No, but there's no like
not us, but it's still running, fam. Think
yeah,
about
no,
these shows getting cancelled.
Still running,
How is it
like,
still running?
When I go online and look at like all the fan boards and or like people are cussing it like.
This is what I was gonna say. Talking about
they're just like lock it off now. Like,
no, listen. Talk about yeah. You know, have you heard the new Dr. Hibbert?
No.
Listen to new Dr. Hibbert. He's black now, isn't it? But like, they
he was always black.
I did hear about
black
that.
now. He's not black.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Apu, and all of the ethnic characters have been like changed to like black actors.
Oh, is this like
so
what's
that laugh that
Robert Downey Jr.?
Don't work.
Yeah,
trying to come for his blackface. Yeah, trying to come for blackface.
Yeah, but even that is just ridiculous. Like because like that was the whole point of him doing that role. That's like people you ain't seen the film. That's the only reason you would
that was the whole point.
Yeah. That's people. That's youngers saying that, isn't it?
It's supposed to be like Hollywood Shuffle. It's supposed to be like the token black doing the token like, come on, motherfuckers, you know, like then gets killed like that. It's that kind of ex-Vietnam vet. It's the same. It's that role that that guy always used to play. The one who played it in Alien, black guy with the dodgy wigs. What was his name? You know what I'm talking about. But he was in the first Alien. I liked him in that. But it's that kind of. I think it was the parody of that kind of character. Sorry, like caricature of him. But because But you know what? With me, when I see these kind of things and kids jump up and down about it, in a way, part of me is like, oh, that's ridiculous. But then the other part of me remembers what I was like when I was like a 16-year-old and everything was a protest. Like, you know, sixth form, everything was a protest. So I think every person goes through that in their kind of life where everything's an outrage and they want to make change.